Welcome to Snakes and Otters, a pointless discussion of eternal questions. Get ready, we're about to live in your head rent-free. Hello, Otterites.
I am Martin.
I'm Robert.
And I'm Francis.
Welcome back to Snakes and Otters. This is episode 114, and it is, gentlemen, a Hoopajoob!
Oh, yeah.
Hoopajoob!
Hoopajoob.
So it is the 5th Friday of the month, so we get to do a Hoopajoob. And Hoopajoob, as you know, is our potpourri.
That's right. You
Anything
never
can
know.
happen Thursday.
That's right. Anything can happen Friday.
Right. That's right.
Anything can happen any day.
That's right.
That's right.
And
Just like Sheldon.
we are going to do an episode on something that's very near and dear to all of our hearts and stomachs.
And our stomachs. That's right.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about smoked meats. We're talking about barbecue, gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
As Charles Barkley liked to say, I don't trust myself around smoked meats.
Yeah.
I think, yep.
So yeah, we had a little bit of a, I wouldn't say necessarily disagreement in the show prep, but Francis was like, this is only about meats in a restaurant. I'm like,
No.
I don't think so, because if we're talking barbecue, because Martin was just saying in the show prep, he likes his smoked meat sauceless, right? You like a dry
I like to
rub.
start there. I like to start there, and then I can apply a sauce if desired.
Okay,
But you do not always desire it. Am I right?
I usually try a little sauce.
Okay.
But I like the variety.
Yeah.
Because I like to try Carolina style or a Memphis style. So there's a lot of ground to cover with smoked meats.
Right.
And this is not anything new. If you watch a cooking show, eventually they're going to do a barbecue episode.
Well, there's even a whole series on just the barbecuing.
Yes.
Well,
going out and doing it outside.
And let's face it,
competitions.
when we want to talk about this, smoked meat is the quintessential man food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because when you think about the origins of this is not some newfangled fad. Smoked meat is the original food that was cooked over an open fire.
Right. Yeah.
I guarantee it.
It involves fire.
It involves fire. It's going to be wood, maybe cow dung or mammoth dung. I don't know, depending on what they were burning.
I suspect that got changed pretty quickly.
I suspect that got changed pretty quickly, yes. But I imagine very quickly, early man cooking their saber-toothed tiger, their woolly mammoth over that open flame would have realized different fuel sources gave a different texture, a different taste to the meat. So this is the oldest form of cooked food, is smoked meat.
I would say so, yeah.
Because there's, again, a lot of places to start here, but I always like to insist, barbecue is different from grilling.
Yes.
Grilling is high heat.
Right, okay.
Okay. Barbecue is, as we know, low and slow.
Right, it's a smoking process.
Right. So you keep kind of indirect heat, keep the flames low, keep the temperature low, and take your time.
Yes.
Right.
And
not unlike doing a good roast. The
Yeah.
best roast is you put that in an oven in a covered pot, covered container, and you put that on low. You cook that all day long, and you have the best tasting roast you will ever
Absolutely.
have.
As long as it's prepared properly, where it doesn't dry out. There's lots of little
That's why it's
stuff.
covered.
That's right, exactly.
You maintain all the juices inside
That's
the
right,
container.
exactly. It's got to be done right.
And in general, for smoked meats, especially in the U.S., there is a component of this being everyman food.
Yes.
It's not a fancy steak at a New York restaurant. It's farm hands who have a pig. In fact, freed slaves. It's food from the black community.
Much of it
throughout of U.S. history.
Right.
Yes. Well, that's why barbecue is especially identified with the barbecue. My barbecue,
Yes.
I'm using the general term for smoked meats, not the
Yes.
barbecuing on your grill, is identified with southern cities or cities in the Midwest that have a strong African American population.
Yep.
Kansas City is a great example of that. There's just it's a southern thing in general.
Yeah. Kansas City, Memphis, Carolinas,
Texas.
and of course Texas.
Yes.
But
and then there's small regional adaptations as well. I mean, here locally we have the Owensboro barbecue, which is unique in and of itself.
Well, that's the thing. Because it is a
unique because of the meats that are used.
Not it's the style. It's the mutton is common with Owensboro barbecue. It's kind of their preferred, but it works with any of them. It's just finely chopped and heavily sauced. That's what makes Owensboro
Well,
barbecue.
all of the in that smoked meat / barbecue category that we want to talk about, because you cannot say it is just one thing.
Correct. Yes.
You've got dry rubs, you've got wet rubs, you've got as Martin likes to say, you want to start dry, or it's not really dry, but you know what I mean. It's without slathering it in sauce.
Right. What do you got to hide?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Give me your meat. Let me taste that smoke, and then I'm going to augment it with something
if necessary,
excellent.
or if I choose. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and then there's, as Francis alluded to, there's different kinds of meat. There's mutton. You can smoke chicken, you can smoke beef, you can smoke pork, you can smoke lamb. It doesn't matter.
Turkey breast.
Turkey breast.
Been done. Absolutely.
They come out really good.
Yeah.
You can smoke any kind of meat, and it is a valid thing to do. And like, for instance, a good smoked brisket. Now, personally, I think you're done. You need absolutely nothing on a good smoked brisket.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, again, you've got to be certain that it stays juicy and not dry. That's always the worry when you're smoking meats, is to if you just miss it by a couple of points and you get something that's dry. That's problematic. That's one of the reasons they have sauce. Is when that happens, you have the ability to overcome that. But when it's done properly, you're right. It's not always necessary.
Yeah, depending on what it is. Not, for instance, when it comes to ribs, I want my ribs in sauce. I
would agree.
Because I want those as moist as possible. I want to get as messy as possible. I want to go through half of your box of wet naps to clean myself up after eating ribs.
I have tried the dry rub with ribs, Kansas City style.
They're okay. They're good.
They're good. That's
I
right.
just prefer
They're
mine
different.
a little wetter.
It's different. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of smoked meats,
Yeah.
is you can have it any which way you want.
And your
to.
barbecue sauce adds yet another dimension.
Which
Everybody
one you
who's
choose.
doing theirs is going to do their own. Nobody's going to, go get, bottle off. If you're, especially in a restaurant, you're not going to get a bottle off the shelf. You're going to make your own.
Sure.
You're going to have your own secret sauce. You're going to have your own special recipe, however you want to put it.
Yep.
And that, along with the meat and how you cook it,
Right.
It's kind of like the what if we did last time.
Yeah.
There are so many potential jumping off points to differentiate your smoked meat from everybody else.
That's right.
And same with your sauce.
And,
Although
including
there are
the
some
sauce,
standards
yes.
with that. There are some standards that have been
there's
popular.
vinegar-based, tomato-based, molasses-based, mustard-based.
Yeah, but that's
All
the
good.
base. It's
Right.
what you add to it.
Yeah.
Correct, because you can. There are various iterations that use different bases, and yet are very different. North Carolina is a very different type of a sauce than St. Louis. St. Louis is very thick tomatoey, and North Carolina is very vinegary.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of prefer the North Carolina, to be honest. Western Kentucky is similar to that, but it's got a little bit of a difference to it. And of course, Texas is just, sometimes it's heat, but usually it's a tomato based of some sort. Man, there's just so many options. I haven't told you guys this, but
it's not just that, the base.
sorry.
How much brown sugar you're going to add,
Yes,
whether or
brown
not you're going to
sugar.
add the sugar,
Yeah.
how much, so many different things. It's one of those kinds of dishes that you almost cannot exhaust the goodness. Because everywhere you go is going to be different. I just went to a place called Back Deck Barbecue here in Louisville just this past Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. It is right across the street, by the way, from Biscuit Belly,
That's right,
the
that's
Steaks
you
and
said
Otters
that there,
place of breakfast. And it was funny, as we were getting out of the car to walk over, we parked on the other side of Biscuit Belly, and the wife of the couple that we were with, having dinner with, she says, "I've never been to Biscuit Belly. Is it any good?"
Gravy.
I just had to stop, and I turned around and looked at her and was like, I was speechless. I was like, how can I recount the ways that Biscuit Belly is good? And I told the gravy story, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, of course, you got to do that. So I'm sure that they will find their way there.
Oh, yes. We have said that next time we get together, it will be for breakfast at Biscuit Belly.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
So I want to also emphasize, and this is something we knew we needed to say in the show prep, Otterites, actually, none of the three of us actually prepare.
That's right. That's kind of what I was talking about when we were talking.
Marcus Aurelius does. He has a smoker.
Oh, does he really?
Yes, he used to do competitions when he was in Seattle.
I am not surprised, because when it comes to fire, of course he's going to have lots of stuff.
Yes. Well, and Marcus does nothing half-assed.
He whole-asses everything.
Well, yes. I still recall, I don't think we've ever talked about it on air, how he burnt the brush pile with the
I think we have. Haven't we talked about
propane tank?
the propane tank
Yes,
and a
with the flamethrower. Yes.
Oh yes, that's
that was fun.
I was there, and
yes,
fact,
we were all there.
I know, but you were a little too close to the flames, and my wife was saying, "Shouldn't he step back a little bit?" I said, "This is not that."
Yes, because I was carrying the propane
tank
yes.
while he is literally,
Yeah, Marcus did not even get the question out of his mouth entirely about who was going to carry the tank. That's me. I got it. We got that. Yep.
I got your tank, bro.
Yep. That's me.
That was
those were the guys that got shot at on the Pacific Islands first, though.
Yeah, the guys.
The guys that had the tank.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
Just noting that. Yes.
Well, that would also be keeping in line with Marcus. So
he would definitely hold you up as a sandbag.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, maybe not intentionally, but I feel like in Marcus's life, sometimes he is his own collateral damage, and sometimes the people around him are his collateral damage.
Well, that's very true.
But the key thing to remember is that there is always collateral damage.
That's right. Things tend to go up in great big flames.
I've never had any of Marcus's smoked meats. I would love to try something.
Well, you know what? Maybe we should get him to do that and make that a special
What did he like
Hoopajoob
to do?
episode.
Did he do beef or pork or?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't remember. We've talked about it, but it's been so long. I honestly don't know. Yeah. I think the smoker's sitting at the farm in Indiana, but of course they're not there right now because they're still getting the farm redone for him to be able to go there because the place was a mess, and with his compromised immune system from the drugs to not reject the liver, he has to get that place taken care of before they can go back to it, which is unfortunate. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. Plus, they had the flood. I told you guys about that, right?
Yeah. They had a flood. Yeah.
But anyways, that's again another rabbit hole. Yeah, so we do not do our own, but we do certainly love to partake.
Yes, we're consumers, and we've been a lot of places,
and seen a lot of things.
Tried a lot. My preference, generally, I won't even have brisket here.
Really?
Because if it's not in Texas,
Really?
Brisket. I'm kind of a brisket snob. If I'm not
standing
in the Lone Star State, I'll settle for some ribs or some pulled pork.
I had no idea because briskets is one of my favorites.
Oh my god, brisket is almost like bacon. Yeah. You can do anything with it, and it's still good.
That's right. It's something about. I mean, the pulled pork snobs that are out there that kind of want only it's not barbecue if it's not pulled pork. I disagree with that. I'm
not as big into the shredded meat. Yeah, with other things. It depends.
It's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
You do it good. You get a really good and juicy pulled pork. I need nothing else.
Well, that's right. To me, as long as it's not dry. There's the rub. Did I say that? I did say that.
Oh,
it was there.
He who had pun would pick a pocket.
That's right. Thank you, Captain Aubrey. That's right. Actually, that's Dr. Maturin.
I'll
take Jack Aubrey's spot on that one. That's right. But anyway, yes, brisket is one of the highest forms. I prefer mine. I don't know where you guys fall on this. Bunless. I'd rather have it on the plate. Yes,
no. I think doing things as a sandwich, it's okay, but I prefer the meat unto itself.
Put it on the plate and let me have it there with a fork. Yes. That's the way I want it.
Well, I'm going to end up doing that on a bun anyway. Probably end up with a fork. But I like what the bread can add with the tiny bit of salt flavor in the bread. Yeah, okay. So I like that too.
Nothing wrong with it, but it's just to be honest.
To me, it takes up space that can be better used for
meat. Ding, ding. That's exactly it. It limits us.
It's like having a salad with your steak. What's the point? The steak's already made of salad.
Very good. Very good. I like that. That's right. That's very good. I don't think we've heard that one before.
Didn't mean to do that while you were drinking. I almost made him spew his bourbon.
No.
Please do not spew the bourbon.
No, it wasn't a spew, but that was a good little chuckle. I like that because it's moving up the food chain.
That's right. Just
you start with the vegetable, and then the thing that ate the vegetable, and then the thing that ate the thing that ate the vegetable.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yes.
That would be us.
Smoking meat's high on the food chain.
Exactly. Well, smoking meats, because of its long history as being the first true sign of civilization.
That's true. Cooking
our food.
Yeah.
But it also became even more important because obviously we all come from a Judeo-Christian background. And when you think about the theological significance. You think back to the Jewish temple. What were they doing? They were grilling.
That's right. It's big barbecue.
They based their entire religion around cooking out.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was that was the
Because you had
sacrifice
to cook
of meat.
the meat and
Yeah.
Now the
And
Holocaust, of course, destroyed the meat. You cooked that until it was ash.
Right.
But most of the sacrifices were meant to be eaten.
That's
it was
right.
not a finished sacrifice until it was eaten. That's why, in the Catholic faith, we must partake of the sacrifice, the Eucharist. Otherwise, the sacrifice is not complete.
That's right.
So, this is one of those things that when you think about the history of cooking meat over an open fire, it has a lot more to it than just it's tasty. It has become part and parcel of even our religious background.
Yep.
So smoked meat is a religion unto itself, is what I take from that.
Yes. Well, it's, and especially when you're a high practitioner.
That's right.
That high Anglican tradition of, like I said, I don't even do brisket hardly unless I'm standing in the Lone Star State.
Sure.
And I've traveled to Texas. It has been a long time, and I do miss Texas a lot. But I love San Antonio. And there's tons of tourist places in San Antonio.
Sure,
Get barbecue.
Yeah.
Look for the places that are not in the tourist part.
Right,
They're
right.
so good.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
the way it goes
good.
in.
Yeah, I feel that way about a lot of different kinds of places. So, for me, the best Chinese places are the little hole-in-the-wall places.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. The late lamented China Inn was one of those. It was, hole-in-the-wall place, but it was phenomenal.
Well, you guys remember the place we stopped at on the way back from Illinois? And that little hole.
Oh, yeah.
It
That
was
was
just kind
great.
of there. Hey, it was fantastic. Off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't nothing around. Dang, it was good, though. We had a wonderful experience with there.
Yep. But, the other thing that I like a great deal that I will get frequently here locally is a smoked pork chop.
Oh, yeah.
They're so good.
I have never brought because it's kind of like, why would you want to do that when you can get something else? I get something different. I don't go pork chops.
Well, but
That's what you make at home.
A smoked pork chop, especially a great big thick one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it has kind of pulled pork flavor, but it's also something else besides.
Okay. Well,
It's
don't
so
get me
good.
wrong. I don't mean to hate on pork at all.
Yeah.
I love pork. Goodness gracious, that's bacon, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. The one that I'm not a big fan of is chicken.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
a big chicken
drier
person.
than, again, I go back to that. It's just drier than I like. Now, I love fried chicken, don't get me wrong.
It depends on... The tough part about chicken is if it came off the smoker a while ago, it can start to dry out, especially if you have to reheat it.
Well, that's correct.
That's true. Anytime you're doing that.
And to be honest, the dark meat's better than the white meat. When it comes to,
it will have more fat content.
Well, exactly. That's one of the reasons.
Just in general, I'm not a huge fan of chicken because now I grew up eating chicken all the time, but it was fried chicken.
Yeah, and that's.
It was take your chicken and you roll it in flour and you fry it right there.
Perhaps that would be a good Hoopajoob of itself. Is
fried chicken. Oh yeah,
I think we could do a good Hoopajoob on that one.
Fried chicken and most of the time fried potatoes to go with it. Oh my god!
Right.
Oh.
Which
That's another thing that I like to try in lots of different places is try their fried chicken.
Well, that's correct. And then, again, save that for the next Hoopajoob. But I'm glad you talk about that, though, because we haven't talked about the accompaniments, the sides that go with them.
Oh, we're not even ready there.
Ready?
We haven't gotten there yet. Hold on, there's still more to go.
All right, I was just going to say, don't lose
Because I was
that.
just going to say that, we're
that.
very fortunate in this town that there are quite a few pretty good barbecue joints around here.
They really are, yeah, and they've sustained themselves in many respects.
Louisville, people that live here in this town don't realize it unless it's been pointed out and they start looking around and they realize, but Louisville is a food destination.
It is.
It's an eat-out town.
It is.
Restaurants are busy even on Mondays.
Yeah,
that's right.
But it is even nationally known for the restaurants that we have.
That's right, because everybody here wants to eat out. That's just what we do. We're kind of fickle at times.
We can be, yes.
Because new ones, it's hard to keep them sustained over times because we'll go to the next new thing. That's kind of some of what we are.
The chains, we have them here. They don't. Not all of them do well. They will come and go. For a while there, Logan's was the big chain steakhouse, and then Texas Roadhouse has supplanted them. Cattleman's has come in and has made their splash.
They've done a very good job. Yes, I enjoy Cattleman's.
But as far as the places that people really like to go, we really like the unique stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that stuff tends to be locally owned. Jenny's Diner is a great example of one of those locally owned kind of niche places.
Yeah, long gone.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah, it was the
Irish Rover, locally owned Irish pub.
That's right. It's still
Mike Lenning's.
Mike Lenning's. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're talking what 60, 70 years of that joint, right?
Yeah.
That's right. It's a fish place.
And it's way the hell out of the way.
It's over near the river on the far west side of the city.
It's southwest.
Yeah,
side,
southwest side. Yeah,
it's practically outside the county. It's not that far.
My
from
first
it.
experience at Mike Lenning's, it was so packed we had to sit near the dumpster. Wasn't my best experience because of the smell. Nevertheless, it's still good stuff.
During Lent, you can't. I mean, you might as well just try and get takeout there.
And they're not open all year long.
No, they are not.
Right.
Well, because a good deal of their seating is outdoor seating.
Right. Yeah.
So they probably wouldn't make money on just their indoor.
Right. And there's some truth to that. It's just one of those little, literally all in the wall in many respects. There's just small amounts of seating in there, but wow, it's good.
It is.
Then again,
I mean, not a fish person myself, but that just another example again of the unique,
localness,
local flavor, no pun intended.
Speaking
places
of which,
that can thrive.
Give me some name. Give me some of your places here. Local.
Shack in the Back.
Shack in the Back, absolutely.
See, never
That's
been there.
Fairdale place.
I know.
Really nice.
We actually tried to go once, but
that's right. We were going to do that as one of our dinners for recording or lunches, and it was closed.
It was dinner because it was Christmas. We didn't realize they were going to take 2 weeks off for Christmas vacation.
That's what it was. I talked about. I'd never been. I'm saying, gotta go.
Yes.
All that.
That was one of my mom's favorite places.
Maybe we'll try and do that next
house.
month when we get together at
Studio
R in the atrium. Yeah.
Oh, that might work.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
And again, I love their smoked pork chop.
Yeah,
That's good.
they do a really good sausage there.
Yep.
And that's one of the things about the places around here. All of them do a really good variety of different kinds of meat.
Yes.
They're not just a rib place.
Yep.
Which is sometimes you run into that in some places.
Some of them are, and that's okay.
But Juicy's out in the East End is a really good place.
Right across the Oldham County line,
Yeah.
and they are really, really good. That's kind of a little bit of a hole in the wall.
It is,
but it's wow. They really make it. I mean, they advertise here locally. It's one of the very best that they have.
And the one or two times I've been, it's reasonably priced as well.
It is. It's all homemade right there. It's fantastic on that. Well, Bootleg Barbecue.
Bootleg is just down the street.
It's just down the street from us, and it was. It's so good. You have
also an excellent smoked pork chop.
You have to order their smoked wings ahead of time.
Yep.
They don't. They're not. They're not an on-demand type thing. They're that good. Their wings. That's another issue entirely.
Yeah.
But they do some fantastic.
I mentioned that we went to Back Deck Barbecue, which is taking over the location of Jimbo's, which unfortunately closed at the beginning of the pandemic. They've got some really good stuff, great sides, but I mean they've got the huge. It's like a 20-foot smoker.
Yes, your wife posted a picture of that on Facebook,
and it's a really good place to get food, good sides, the whole bit. Even some of the chain places can have some good barbecue.
City Barbecue, it's not a huge chain, but there are more than one location.
Mrs. R, her high school friend, used to be the manager there, so we used to get comped lunches and dinners on occasion. Yes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he is no longer there, but they do a pretty good barbecue.
Yeah.
I have eaten it at your house, but I have never actually been there myself.
Yeah, it's very good. You talk about sausage. Their sausage is terrific.
Yeah.
Super, super good. And another big one that I strongly recommend is Feast Barbecue.
Don't know that one.
Yeah,
Feast, there's two locations, one in J-Town and one in the Nulu, they call it.
That's right, down
off
of
Eastern Market Street.
Exactly, East Market Street. I've been there with Mrs. Francis because she works downtown, and people in her office just absolutely love it. So we went down there one time. Fantastic food, it is. It really is.
Strongly recommend the pulled pork tacos. Super good.
I can see that. Mm-hmm. Most of my barbecue favorites are traditional barbecue places, and I've got a couple. We just went to Smoky Bones again.
Oh, yes.
Just and that's what I was going to tell the story earlier. I got a full rack, and I only ate a half of it.
Really, what cup?
Oh, don't you dare!
Sorry,
don't you dare! My
sorry.
wife might listen to this episode. She would say, "What are you doing?" But she was there with me, so there's no problem. I got me a St. Louis style. ribs. I decided to go that route, and I had used the North Carolina sauce, which has got that tang to it, that power to it. I bring home a half a rack, which is very unusual for me, but we had an appetizer, so stuff like that. And I'm waiting for the next day, lunch. It's going to happen, you know. But my 20-year-old son beat me to the punch. I found the remains of the crime on the counter downstairs. The opened carry-out box styrofoam laying there with all evidence, with the smushiness of the North Carolina sauce all around the edges, and 4 bones.
And he didn't even bother to get rid of the evidence.
No, he didn't. Just sucked it all dry.
Disowned.
Yeah, really.
Yes, he owes me. It was good, man. It was good the first time around. It was going to be good the second time around, but alas.
You know, another chain that now, granted, it's not a traditional smoked meat, but it's under that barbecue kind of a thing. I really love the honey wings over at Mark's Feed Store.
I was hoping you were going to mention Mark's, because that is a fantastic barbecue place. We've gone there several times. There's one close by here.
For a chain, it's got a nice homey feel to it.
Their sides
they do
are
some
excellent.
good stuff.
Yeah,
Love the burgoo.
The burgoo. Yeah, it's one of the
you know?
one of the few places you can actually get burgoo.
Yeah.
And sit down with some of that and a sandwich, or just off to the side. And they've got some unique sides too.
They do.
Roasted corn, if I remember right, and the white potato salad, which is really, really good.
That's really good.
Of course, that's
love
ranch. You can eat that. It's got ranch dressing. I thought it was the basis of it.
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't eat it then.
Well, I said, you didn't have any issues, and who cares, right?
It's been a while.
Yeah. And the buttermilk pie. Well,
that one I
Pie is up
top.
here.
It's up
Everything,
top.
yes.
Everything else below pie. Yeah, really good.
Yep.
Mission Barbecue's the other one I wanted
Mission,
to mention.
yeah, that's another
over
one.
on Shelbyville Road. They have, and here's what's so unique about them. Hey, it's great stuff, of course, but you can get it wet or dry. I keep going back to that same theme again, but you can get it wet where it's got all the juices with it. It's you don't put it on a bun, you put it on your plate, because it's just it's overflowing with juice, and you throw the sauce to that and mix it all up, and hochimama, it's as good as it gets. That's very unique, because most of them are pulled pork. It's more of a dry thing, and you add the sauce. This leaves all the juices with it. You can still add the sauce.
So there you go. I mean, this is a town that likes its smoked meats.
And we haven't named all of them.
We do.
We
do like our smoked meats.
Yes, and there's a ton. I think there's one even directly across the street from City Barbecue. Mama's.
Yes.
I think
Mama's,
so. I think the oldest has been there, and he said it was good, and we haven't had a chance to try it.
Martin's Barbecue is really good way out east off of
It's over on
Westport,
Goose Creek and
Westport Road
and all that.
Yeah.
And they actually fix the day before everything that they serve.
Yeah.
Themselves, they butcher it in house and cook it and do all the stuff there.
What was the name of the barbecue place that we ate at when we went to Memphis? Me and you, Francis, and Marcus, when we went to see the Psychedelic Furs.
Holy crap! And
that was great.
We went there after it was on Beale Street.
Yes,
it was right after the concert. Yeah,
that was what.
See, that's got to be one of the famous ones. Yeah,
it was.
It's
It
like
was
an
Memphis
Arthur Bryant's or
it was
whatever.
Memphis style. I know that, and I couldn't begin to tell you the name.
We
of
took
the
a
place.
picture of the menu, I thought, but that's not showing up with my pictures here.
Honestly, I don't remember that. I mean, it's right on Beale Street, or I think it was off Beale Street. That we were at. Of course, Memphis is one of those barbecue capitals of the world.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's the place for the competitions and everything.
Absolutely, and this was probably midnight. Of course, Beale
it was
Street,
late.
Beale
Yeah.
Street never sleeps. It's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
And we just walked up the street and we said
We were going to go to Pig on Beale because my wife recommended that, but we went past it for some reason. I forget why.
and we ended up. This was a little thing off to the side. It was almost like a diner. It felt that way.
Yes, it was very much a diner atmosphere.
But it was, the food that they brought us, my Lord, we were kings of the world that evening.
Yes.
That's correct.
That sounds
Everything
great.
was good. The fries, the ribs, the baked beans, the coleslaw, all of it was great.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
that's correct. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's making
Wow.
me
It was
hungry.
phenomenal food.
Yeah. Baked beans, you got to do those right. That's one of those
Bactic Barbecue,
Yep.
they have their smoked baked beans are phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're smoked with a little
Get it
bit of
right.
a kick, not major,
Yeah.
but just a little bit of a kick. Oh my gosh, I could eat those all day long.
That's it.
And my wife, Mrs. Robert likes her mac and cheese
Oh.
to go with her barbecue.
And that's a common side.
Yes.
It is. It's not
She's big on the mac and cheese. The only mac and cheese I really like is when you get something like at Jeff Ruby's downtown.
Yeah.
They've got a kind of a creamy mac and cheese. A white cheese kind of a look instead of the yellow cheese.
Yeah.
And I'm not big on mac and cheese just because of the noodles. And mostly because I'm not big on the American Velveeta kind of cheese.
Oh yes, we've talked about that. Yes.
But that cheese, but it's not. That's real cheese. That's
right.
good cheese, and it's creamy. Oh man, I can eat that all day.
Shack in the Back is supposed to have really good mac and cheese. I think they put a little, maybe a little like panko type topping, give a little more crunch.
Yeah, I think that's.
I'm not real big on the crunch. I do like bacon and other meats put in with it.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what kind of makes mac and cheese. It's just kind of plain. Before, I mean,
that's kind of the thing. It's noodles and plain cheese. And so,
That's right. Okay.
I can do better.
Well, that's kind of it. Especially when you're doing this here, coleslaw, gentlemen. We haven't talked about coleslaw. I have found that, and I know you probably don't. You'll have vinegar coleslaw.
I'll eat just about any kind of coleslaw.
Really?
I like
even the
vinegar
mayonnaise
slaw. I like the creamy slaw. I like the finely chopped slaw. I like the roughly chopped slaw. Like it all.
Finely chopped, shredded, creamy slaw, and I'm all over it. That's what my mom and
it
her
is
sisters made.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, that stuff was just phenomenal.
Yeah,
you don't need to chew that; you can just swallow it.
It's good stuff.
I love that. And you can get it real thick too. I like that at times. It depends on the flavoring that's with it. That to me,
I find that the thicker ones tend to be more the vinegar based.
Oftentimes,
that's just
true.
my experience.
That is
then
true.
I don't order slaw as often as I once would have because of the lap band. That's the kind of thing that hangs right there.
I can see that you would have to have the finely shredded, finely chopped. I'll tell you some really good. Fantastic slaw that everybody can eat. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken slaw. Is
that is very good. That is close.
It is excellent slaw.
I do not like pepper in my slaw. Some places like to do pepper. Not a fan of that.
I slather mine in pepper.
Anytime you add something, you slather it.
I know that, but it was to me. It's
Francis does not do anything small. When it comes to...
he does not. That's correct. Pepper is kind of a thing. It's in my mother's family. That's just where
I add lots. When I add pepper to something, I add lots of it.
Yeah, I do.
But I do not like to add it to everything. Because I don't need pepper in something sweet.
Well, this is true, but slaw to me must have pepper in it. I want peppered slaw. That's how I like it. And yet you don't.
So next time I know that if I want slaw and I want to make sure I have enough for me, we will not put pepper in it, and therefore he will not have any.
That's correct. That's right.
I will not have to share.
You don't have to share.
Potato salad.
Oh, potato salad is excellent, and there's so many varieties of that. Like we talked about, Mark's Feed Store has this really good new potatoes with white ranch-style cream sauce with eggs. Not a huge fan of hard-boiled eggs, but I'm okay with it, and bacon along with it.
Yeah.
So that's really
kind of like a German potato salad.
No, it doesn't have that. German potato has that twang of the vinegar or whatever that is. Mustard. I guess that's what that is.
Well, no, German is a white. You're the yellow potato salad.
Oh yes,
that's the mustard style. You're correct.
Yes. Now, German potato salad wouldn't have as much of a binder, as much of sauce.
That's right.
It's a lot thinner.
Yeah, because it's
vinegary. Yeah.
Yeah. There's vinegar not in that Mark's version, but in German, yes, sir, there is. That's usually the thing like that. German potato salad is fantastic. It doesn't. You don't usually get that with barbecue, though.
No, you usually get more of a southern style kind of mustard.
Right.
And I prefer without the eggs, but I'll do.
I like it with the eggs. But that's what I grew up with. I grew up with the yellow mustard and the eggs and the potato. Regular
I like a very
potatoes.
Mild potato salad. Usually is what I kind of like.
I like the smaller chunks. And I like to make sure they're good and soft. I'm not real big on it being ice cold. I do not like ice cold.
Right. I mean, some of them come that way.
It doesn't mean I want it hot, but
Yeah.
See, German potato salad serves better hot.
Yes, now that does.
Yeah,
I like it
does.
hot.
It can be served cold, but it's better hot. Whereas most of these others probably not.
Yeah. Corn on the cob.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so many varieties.
Because you can put that on with the meat.
That's right.
Smoke it. So.
And that's usually the way it's done. Is you'll get that. Sometimes you'll get it fried. You get the small corn cob pieces that are fried.
Yep.
In the which I want to say that's the way Mark's does theirs because they're brown on the outside. We've had it. It's just a very, very good way of working through that. Onion rings are pretty cool. You get those times.
Onion rings are good.
Onion rings are
but you got good. Those are things that
if they're done right.
Exactly. That's what kind of.
I have the trend lately over the last many years has been to cut your onion rings as big as possible.
Yeah.
And to me, that's almost inedible. You know,
Well,
I
yeah.
like my onion rings to be a little. You know, they don't have to be wafer thin, but they don't need to be 1.5 inches thick.
Do you
know?
like the onion straws? Because Mark's has those onion straws.
okay.
They're very
Those are-
thin.
yeah,
and
they're okay.
they're heavily spiced with the breading on that.
Yeah.
And I think
Those
the
would
breading
be good on the sandwich.
Which
Like if
would-
you did a
that's the
pulled
intent-
pork sandwich and throw
Yeah,
the
yeah.
onion straws
That's
on
the
with them.
intention. You can do that, or you can eat them as a side, or you can have any which way you want, or even an appetizer. I'm going to say that they come as a basket. We've had that before.
The burgoo obviously is very important. That's a very special stew kind of dish. That is, you know, somebody not from the South, not from Kentucky, would like. Oh well, it's what is that? Beef stew, pork stew,
Brunswick
it's
stew.
It's burgoo.
It's got a lot of different meats in it.
Yeah.
Usually, it's just
It's almost like, well, let's see, we got some vegetables and a whole bunch of little bits and pieces of meat here. Let's just put them in a pot.
Well,
A
that's
couple
right.
of squirrels. And,
Yeah, a couple of squirrels,
you
maybe
waste
a possum.
You waste nothing.
That's
I mean,
right.
That's why it became a thing down here. But
Well, when
it's-
you're poor, you don't
That's
waste
right.
anything,
That's
and
right.
you know that's where a lot of this kind of stuff comes
it's
from.
on the farm.
right.
That's
Again,
correct.
and it's, you know, you're not taking always the great slices of the pig or the cow to do this with.
Well,
Right.
exactly. That's right. That's
Well,
why.
you know, and a lot of the food that was the poor man's food has become the rich man's food.
yeah.
You know, for instance, lobster and crab. That was not a rich man's food originally.
No, that's what the poor people up north ate
Right,
because it was everywhere.
right, because you live in Maine and on the coast up in the Northeast, that was plentiful, so that's what you ate.
Yeah.
And you know, barbecue in a way has become the same way. You know, all of that stuff that goes with
Yeah.
it. Now, one of the things that I have discovered that I really like, and I did this by accident. Maybe the wife did it, and then I followed suit. I don't remember how we discovered it, but you know, I had accidentally, and I say accidentally because if I realized what the price was, I wouldn't have gotten it. I was at Sam's, and they had a brisket.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I mean, it was huge. I kid you not. I thought it said it was $18. I thought it was on a massive sale.
Yeah.
No, I get up to the counter, get up, and it's like, wow, my bill's a lot higher than I thought it was going to be, which at Sam's is not difficult anyway.
Right.
Mhm.
Turns out, no, that was a $48 thing of brisket. But we ate like 5 meals out of it, so I didn't feel so bad about it.
Yeah.
But we had taken some, was it Mike's baked beans? Is it Mike's?
Bushes.
Bushes.
Roll
Bushes.
that beautiful bean footage.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So some Bush's baked beans, and I forget which kind, and we'd taken some of the chopped up brisket
yeah.
and mixed in with the baked
I'm
beans.
loving it. I'm loving it.
Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
was great.
Bush does a great job. They really
And
do.
part of it was the baked beans as well as the brisket, and baked beans that you take that smoked meat and you add to it. Oh, that's the bomb.
You know, you can actually tour Bush's Bean Factory.
Can you?
Yes, you can. They have a restaurant there. I have not done it, and I'm going to look it up here in a second to figure out exactly where it's at. I want to say it's in Tennessee, but I may be wrong.
While you're
with
looking that up, Francis,
Yes, please.
let's have our bourbon break. Because you know what goes well
Oh,
with
man.
barbecue except bourbon.
Because, I mean, lots of places will put bourbon in the sauces.
That's true, and those
City
are
Bar-
some really good
Yeah,
sauces.
City Barbecue has one specifically called the bourbon
Yes.
sauce that we get all the time.
You know, that would be a good food episode for Hoopajoob, is all of the bourbon-flavored foods that you can get.
Yeah.
Because there's a
Oh,
ton
yeah.
of them.
Absolutely.
So
Man.
I am, once again, I'm finishing up my double-oaked bourbon here from Woodford. Again, you know, just to me, you just can't beat this one. Just love it to death. Great, smooth flavor. Smooth. Great value. It's a little pricier than most of the bourbons we buy, but man, you get some good bourbon for your money.
Yes, I poured a glass of Woodford Reserve Double Oak myself this trip.
yeah, I saw you do that.
And,
yeah.
yep. Everything.
Gravy.
Yeah, gravy. There's no, yeah, just gravy. There's so many notes to this. I mean, you get a little bit of chocolate from the aroma, and then you're getting citrus and a lot more woodsy to this one.
But none of them are overpowering.
Yeah, it's all blended
They
very
blend
well.
extremely well. And, you know, that is one of the things that of all the bourbons that we like, this, I think, is probably the best blended of all the flavors.
Oh, yes.
And it's partly what makes it, even though it has a little bit of a kick and a little bit of a burn,
Yeah.
it makes everything work so well together that none of those pieces, the burn, the bite, any of the you know, where it hits you in your palate or in your throat,
Yeah, it's just all,
none of those things are so overpowering that you're able to focus on the flavor and how good everything is together. You know.
Speaking of flavor, it's in Dandridge, Tennessee. Is the Bush Beans Visitor Center.
Well, something good can come out of Tennessee.
Absolutely, it's got some. I mean, you can.
Otterites, for those of you from Tennessee, I meant no personal disrespect.
It's actually not far from Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg and Sevierville. It's in that Great Smoky Mountain
that
area.
is my favorite part of Tennessee.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Good old Great Sevierville.
Yeah, that's where it's at. It's just a little bit north of there, and you can
and
visit
Dollywood.
Absolutely, all of that's in that general area. You can visit them. You can. They've got a wonderful restaurant. So I've been told. I have not been there, but it's on my list. As well as you can tour the plant, and they got swag. You can buy stuff there. I mean, that's a
What's the
marketing.
dog's name?
Oh my
in
gosh!
the commercials?
Listeners, tell us what the dog's name is.
I love that dog.
One. It's got one name. It's like Bruce. It's not Bruce, but it's something like that, or the talking dog. We'll have to look that up here in a second. But
I don't know, but I love that dog.
That's right.
So, the bourbon, Francis. What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm the same thing.
You're still drinking?
I'm
you're still
drinking
drinking
Double Oak.
Okay.
Exactly. That's right.
So
it was
all three of us.
Yeah. It's just one of the best. We keep coming back to it over and over and over again.
Yes. Yes. The makers of Woodford. We like it a lot. We talk about it a lot.
That's right.
We have listeners all over the country, at least.
That's right.
Probably the world. I'm sure there's
possibly all over the world.
We are not limited. We know this.
That's right.
We could look that up on the services we employ.
That's right. Speaking of the services we employ, we are on what? We are on Apple Podcasts because it's not technically iTunes anymore.
Right.
We are on Spotify, iHeart,
Stitcher.
You can find us anywhere you can get a feed.
Anywhere there's a podcast, I think we've penetrated that space.
That's right.
We're everywhere.
So to speak.
We've penetrated the void.
That's right.
Careful here.
Careful. Whoa. But yeah, Amazon podcast.
Oh, that's right.
Services.
Yes, you
Amazon.
can tell your Alexa device play Snakes and Otters podcast.
That's all right. I unplugged her. She's over there.
Oh, that's right. You can say, Alexa, play Snakes and Otters podcast. And it will.
It will play it from that service.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
It'll be
and
the
I
most
believe
recent.
we've made it even to the Google.
Yes, we made it to Google, too. Yes.
That's
So
right.
we're everywhere. We dominate everywhere.
And snakesandotters.com.
That's right.
I'm
We're on
working
Twitter.
The Martin Monday Post.
That's
I was
right.
gonna say,
did you? I didn't get a chance because I was...
I'm working on it now.
Oh, you're working on it now. Okay. I'm going to try my best to get a Wednesday post in this week.
As me, it's a little hit and miss sometimes, but that's the beauty of it. There's always, between the three of us, we have pretty regular content most of the time.
Yeah.
Although
Martin has been the bulwark of the content. I applaud your regularity.
Not always long, and I did miss a couple
That's
of
true.
weeks here and
Yours
there.
are short. See, one of the reasons I do a lot of them, but they take longer because mine are much longer.
Yeah, I am probably easily the most verbose of the three of us.
This is true. Even yours,
do-
yours are long, but they deep.
Well, I do. I may not get one out as often as you guys, but I do try and get a deep one. Not
Quality
often.
content.
Yeah, well, I think we all do quality.
Well,
but,
absolutely. Quality is what we're about.
But you know me, being the nerd that I am, I mean, we're all nerds, but it just when I get to writing on stuff, it's hard not for me to.
It's kind of like
spend
Bush's
some time
baked
on it.
beans. We're not sponsoring them or anything, but I've just kind of got a hankering for baked beans now that you started talking about this.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of a thing. That and some smoked meats and I don't know, boy. I'm just going to find a way tomorrow.
Much like smoked meats, we have a lot of variety of topics.
We do.
I popped in with a nice happy Juneteenth, a very important thing that I thought was
very much
tremendous
so.
to get done, to get Juneteenth recognized as this Emancipation Day, Civil Rights Day thing. But of course, you always hit a lot of nice philosophical topics, and Francis likes to go back and hit historical topics.
I did.
We like to hit Wilson too.
Well, that's right. We've pummeled Woodrow Wilson several times. I did one. You did.
There
one.
is never enough pummeling done on Wilson.
I would agree.
You can never exhaust
Woodrow
that
Wilson,
one.
not Wilson the Wonder Doodle.
No,
that's correct.
we never want to pummel Wilson the Wonder Doodle.
Yes, so that might have to be a topic too for Martin Monday. Is
Wilson the
I've
Wonder
done a
Doodle?
lot of pop culture too. I've done some of those. And,
Yes, you did a very good what if that I riffed on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. About the comic, that's right.
Yes.
One of the ones I liked doing was Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Actually, I spent a little time on that one there. That was a different one.
We even started a food fight on...
oh, yes, we did. Yes, that was some great posts.
Well, that's true, because we didn't do a posting on steak, but we did on line. We didn't do an episode on steak, but we did a postings on steak. Several seconds, right?
Yes.
And all that. We recognize how different we are. Not that we did not know that.
Oh, no, we definitely knew that.
That's right. That's right. That's kind of what started the whole problem, wasn't it?
Yes. And then eventually Robert had it up to the proverbial neck.
That's right.
But yes, that was some excellent stuff. Excellent stuff.
Enjoyed it. Yes.
So, what else do we have to say about smoked meats? I mean, without just going on and on about the...
That wonderful.
Well, I mean, we talked about Owensboro.
Yeah.
Again, the uniqueness of throwing in the mutton.
Uh-huh.
We talked about it, very humble roots, yet still all over the place. And again, the idea of the farm hands taking the hog, and that's all they had, and getting it smoked.
We used to slaughter pigs every year. We slaughter hogs every year in November. And that was just a thing you did out in the country.
And Kansas City's origins is that railhead, that terminal for moving meat from Texas and beyond up north. And of course, again, Texas.
Yeah, it's one of those places where that you just do that. It's like Chile. It's kind of put its own mark on that sort of thing. It's not that it's the only one. There's many others that have done it. Interesting enough, though, we don't go far west with this. Texas is about as far west as we get.
It's been adapted at other places.
Yeah,
I mean, it's turned into fusion cuisine in California. There are Mexican influences in Arizona and New Mexico that do it. A little spicier.
Yeah.
But it's still the same idea.
So much of it, though, is American Midwest and South, though.
Yeah, it is. It's very southern.
Yeah.
Very southern. That's awesome. I think I have a proposal here, though.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Lay it on us, brother.
Lay it upon me.
Road trip.
I knew this was coming. We had to. We need it.
Yes, well, I think the last time we were together, just a few days ago, we had talked about the need for another road trip. Even though we just did Illinois.
Texas.
That's a road trip.
That'd be a road trip. That would be an air trip.
Oh.
Rather than a road trip.
No.
I think we're going to have to get some low fares on Southwest and get somewhere in Texas and try some barbecue joints. Dallas, San Antonio.
Well, if we go to Texas, we have to do a Snakes and Otters episode at the Alamo.
The Alamo's a wonderful place.
It is. My Lord, gentlemen. Talk about Lonesome Dove. the whole state is our oyster on that.
Then go visit the battleship too, at the USS Texas, right there in Houston. And Galveston Bay, I guess.
I want to say that.
That's hard.
Lexington,
that's hard to do. It's hard to do more than one city.
That's true, because in Texas, it really is. Everything is bigger in Texas. Even the space between things is bigger in Texas.
Because if you want to go to San Antonio and then Houston,
that's a
plane
drive.
ride.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
the Lexington, the aircraft carrier is Corpus Christi, if I recall correctly.
Could be, yes.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. So.
Well, again, we're talking now multiple trips to Texas to get all that stuff in.
I tell you, again,
the nightlife in Austin is supposedly pretty cool too.
Oh yes, yeah.
Austin's one of the
much like a Nashville kind of trip, where all the great live music and everything.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Still tons of barbecue.
Very much so. Yeah.
Well, maybe
Nashville is a great place to go as well. Now, the wife and I, Mrs. Robert and I, we like to go there for the hockey games.
I would love to see a hockey game in Nashville. That would be tremendous. And then go, was it Broadway in Nashville is the main drag with all the places to hear music?
All the music.
Is it Broadway? Honestly,
I don't think so.
I think that's the place that got bombed at Christmas was Broadway.
That was one. See, there's a whole area of town down there. So there's actually several places that you can go to hear a lot of. Some of it is the traditional stuff. Go to the Opry, for goodness sakes. I mean, hey, if you want music, that's a great place to go. Even the Ryman downtown.
It's been a while. It's been quite a while since I've been in Nashville. But yeah, it's every bar on that one street. Just walk in, and there'll be some kind of great music.
Oh yeah,
Tons of great beer,
and probably a lot of barbecue too.
All right, well, we're gonna start looking at some Southwest flights to Austin then. hear some
Austin.
music, and get some barbecue in Austin.
Well, Austin and San Antonio are not that far. You can do that together without any issue. It's just, as you say,
If you go to one, they're really, not. Well, the Alamo. You're talking the Alamo.
You kind of have to see that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and I love San Antonio. I really do. Great town.
Well, Texas, they're very welcoming down there. That's for sure. It's one of the capitals of sweet tea, too, by the way. Everybody drinks sweet tea in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Except Martin, when he's there.
Well,
I mean, we're going to drink beer anyway.
Well, that's true. That's true.
There's plenty of that, too. Yeah, well, interesting. I'm sure there's some local breweries down there, some stuff that's local. I love to, when I went out west in 2019, we went to Montana, my daughter and I brought back a whole ton of Montana beer, local, so I could experience it later, after the fact. My particular favorite was Old Gus, of all things.
Old Gus.
That's
okay.
right.
That's super.
All right, gentlemen. I think we have probably taken this one as far as our listeners are willing to stick with us without having to stop and go get some barbecue of their own.
Go right ahead. It's time.
Well, and like if you could turn on multiple television networks and find television cooking shows about barbecue.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, we're not really breaking new ground here.
No, we're
telling
not.
anybody.
We're
just being fans.
That's right. Speaking
being
of
awesome fans. Kind of, we're being sort of that Chris Farley barbecue. Hey, you remember when you had that pulled pork that was really good?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. I'll take it.
All right, gentlemen. I think that is a wrap for this episode. Our Hoopajoob.
Probably shortest Hoopajoob we've ever done.
Well,
Quite possibly. So, Francis, what's up?
Oh my gosh!
What's up next?
Back
to history.
That's right. We're back to history, and the title from this one here is a Martin original about kissing his drunken Russian ass. But this has been something that it's the book that I'm writing is actually on the 1991 August coup in the fall of the Soviet Union. Well, this is the 30th anniversary of that this year. So it kind of says, maybe we should talk about that. Especially since I've done tons and tons of research about just exactly what a watershed moment that is. And most of us here in the West don't get all of what really happened.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of know now that it's all sort of gone to shit.
Yeah.
With Vlad. But it was an incredible moment.
It really was. And it was something...
It was all televised.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it. And so much of it we knew and didn't know. And we watched history unfold really in 3 days.
Yeah.
In 3 days. Now it's the story's broader than that, of course. But that the very moment in history, the thing it attempted to prevent, it actually hastened. And there's an irony for you. You know, we at Snakes and Otters, we love irony. And so we're going to explore the events that happened on this 30th year anniversary and how the world changed forever. Be here with us.
Hope you enjoyed another pointless discussion of eternal questions. Remember, new episodes published every Friday at noon Eastern.
Spread the word. We're on all the major podcast platforms. And leave us a comment or review because that helps others find us.
We're on Instagram, Twitter, as well as our website, snakesandotters.com.
I'm Martin.
And I'm Robert.
And I'm Francis. Join us next week, same snake time, same otter channel.